Welcome friends, today we are going to learn about the Pinion meeting. For that, first of all, I am inserting inside Pinion. This is my Pinion, and as you know, the very first component that I insert inside an assembly goes fixed by default. So I am making this to plot, and now I am clicking on the axis, and I am now using this axis to make it rotate along a fixed axis. This is my top plane. I have made it coincident with the top plane. Now I am picking up the right plane and making it coincident with the right plane. Now let me show you the front. It can rotate like this, but it can move like this. So I have to fix this one as well. So I am hiding the temporary axis because that's not needed now, and I'm going to the mate, picking up this face and picking up the front plane, making them coincident. Now you can see it is coincident and it is fixed. So now we have to insert the pinion, picking up the pinion, not the pinion actually, but the rack actually. Inserting the rack, and from here let me show you I can provide a color to the part as well. Now there are two options for this. Number one is apply at the component level. It means the coloring will be applied on during the assembly only, not to the original part in its original part document. The other is apply at part document level. It means that the SLDPRT file will have the same color. So I am clicking on this part and giving it a different color. For example, I am giving it a light pink color. Clicking OK. Now I am using the rotate component to make it align with the pinion. Now the first thing that I can do very easily is clicking on this face and this face so as to make them coincident. Now the next thing that I can do is I'm making the temporary axis visible, clicking on this axis, starting the new mate, and clicking on the bottom edge and show you from the dot, giving a distance of say 10 mm. I have to actually go as per the mating there, as per the size of this pinion and the teeth. I think this should be 1.5. This one will be perfect, I feel, or I should increase it to 11. Clicking OK. Now adding the temporary axis, clicking on the bottom face, bottom edge, and clicking on the top to make them parallel. Clicking OK. Now it can move like this. So I am going to the front plane and adjusting. Adjusting this so as to be going fine. Now you can see there is some intrusion of this teeth in the teeth of the rack, so I have to actually increase the distance. Not this one, but the distance on this mate, editing it and increasing it to 11.25. Now you can see it is not intruding now. There is no interference. Again, setting it up like this. Now our assembly is ready for rack and pinion mating. I'm going to the mate, collapsing the standard mates and expanding the mechanical mates. Here is the rack pinion mate. Now here, first of all, I have to provide the rack. I'm clicking on the bottom face of this rack, this edge. I'm clicking on this edge, this one, and now I'm clicking on the pinion, clicking on the round face. Now here you can see the pinion pitch diameter. There are two options: either I can pick up the pitch diameter of the pinion or the travel of the rack. Here in the split words, it is the travel should be the you can say the pitch diameter in the one rotation of this whole gear. It should rotate equal. This rack should move equal to the perimeter of the pitch circle. That's the reality. That's what we have to do actually. So, for example, I'm taking this value and clicking OK. Now you can see as I'm rotating this, you can see the pinion is moving in different direction and the rack is moving in different direction. We can solve this problem very easily. Click on this pinion mate, edit it, and just reverse the direction. Clicking OK. Now I'm, for example, putting it here. Now you can see there's some interference, so you have to actually drop that interference. So first of all, I am suppressing this. We'll start from here. Now I am suppressing this mate, so now I can easily move this like this. And the next thing that I have to do is to know the pitch circle of this pinion on this part and on the right. Now this is the pitch of this gear. For example, clicking on this one. Now you have to know the perimeter of this pitch circle, so I'm just taking its dimension. This is the dimension for this pitch circle, and let me show you how we can get this the perimeter of this pitch circle. I am taking this a simple line, a straight line, and for the dimension of this line, clicking this is the dimension, the length. I'm deleting this length and putting the equal sign. See it carefully, and then apply this. Click on this length, on this. Click on this diameter of the pitch circle. Insert it here and press the asterisk or star from your keyboard, this one, and then place 2 letters from your keyboard, pi. Click OK. You can see this is the length, this is the perimeter of this circle of this pitch. So we have to insert this value. I'm just going to delete this and taking the normal value, removing the equation, clicking OK. Now this one, 47.36 mm, this should be the value that I have to put up there. I have just copied this value and I'm deleting this and deleting this pitch circle as well. Clicking OK. Now I'm going back to the assembly, going back to the rack and pinion mating, putting up this value here, that value that I have copied from there. I'm pasting that here. Rack travel 47.36 mm of the travel. The rack will travel by this distance with 1 revolution of the pinion. Now just click OK and let's try to move this. Before that I have to actually unsuppress the rack and pinion mating. So I'm just unsuppressing this, rebuilding it, and now you can see it's going fine. I think still there is some problem. And now we have to just provide the actual value of the pitch circle, the perimeter of the pitch circle. This one was not the actual value, just an assumption that 46.35 example 47.36 mm. It's just an assumption that this is the actual value of the pitch circle. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.